Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and Activision is going all out right now to try to make sure that Verdansk goes off without a hitch, because to them, Verdansk is going to save the COD franchise. It's not the matchmaking system, it's not the anti-cheat or anything like that, it's Verdansk. It's going to save everything, and I think for a lot of us, it's just going to be really interesting to see if Verdansk is even able to help bring players back whatsoever, considering so many people have quit Black Ops 6 and Warzone this year. But Activision have been making some moves this week, and so I wanted to cover all of that here in today's video and see what you guys think. So first things first, they released a new key art for the return of Verdansk, which is very reminiscent of the original key art that was created for the map and for the game mode. And I don't know what it says about me, or even maybe just the state of the COD franchise, but the first thing I did when I saw this was I zoomed in on the hands of every character to see if this was just more AI generated slop, because Activision loves to push that out on us. And while you can never quite tell with the COD franchise anymore, at the very least, everybody in this artwork has the correct amount of fingers, so kudos to Activision for that one. On top of that, there are reports that they have shut down 4 different cheat providers in anticipation of Verdansk releasing, and this news is really crazy, honestly. So on the one hand, it's clear that their anti-cheat doesn't do anything, and so many cheating companies are able just to bypass it, so instead of a functioning anti-cheat, it seems like they're just shutting down the companies that make the cheats with cease and desist letters. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that these people aren't selling cheats anymore, but 2 major things come to mind for me personally. Number A, when it comes to a cease and desist, it simply moves responsibility around. Like, each of these companies will just start a brand new website under a new name and start selling cheats again, and then it's just going to be this endless string of cease and desist, then a new cheat site pops up, cease and desist that, rinse and repeat over and over and over. It doesn't fix the core problem, right? The only way to stop the cheating is to have a functioning anti-cheat, which leads me into number B. Why didn't they try this in the first place? Like, at the very least, they should have been doing this the entirety of the Black Ops 6 and Warzone life cycles, right? Like, you would hear every now and then about them shutting down a random cheating site or something like that, but if the anti-cheat is really this bad and they are so powerless to stop people from exploiting their game, you would think at the very least they'd be working overtime to keep shutting down these websites and keep doing whatever they can to keep them shut down, and whenever a new one pops up, immediately give it a cease and desist and just keep going with that, right? Like, they're not really doing either. They don't have a functioning anti-cheat, and they're not really doing a good job of trying to shut down the cheat providers, so I honestly think this was more of a PR move than anything. Like, sure, it'll be slightly more inconvenient for people to cheat now that they have to move websites, but those kind of people are like cockroaches, man. Like, they will keep coming back no matter what, because their sole purpose in life right now is to ruin the return of Verdansk for fans. Like, they live for it, they breathe for it, and so while it's a nice headline that Activision shut down 4 separate cheat providers, ultimately, it isn't going to do anything to make the game safer to play, because those cheats are always going to be around so long as Team Ricochet is around, because the anti-cheat functionally does nothing. Now, on top of that, today they added new daily login bonuses to Black Ops 6 and Warzone. In total, there are 7 items that can be earned over the course of the next 13 days as we gear up for Season 3 and the return of Verdansk. And the reason why they're doing this is pretty clear. I mean, we could have had daily login bonuses the entirety of the Black Ops 6 lifecycle, but no, they're only doing it now because they're just quadrupling down that Verdansk is going to save the Call of Duty franchise and everything. But look at these rewards, man. How lame are these? Like, 3 XP tokens, a spray, a sticker, a calling card, and a weapon charm. Like, you would think they would put some really cool things here, maybe some Verdansk related stuff, like maybe some old school nostalgic stuff relating back to the original Warzone, or just anything, right? But no, a spray, a sticker, a calling card, a weapon charm, and none of them are even really Warzone or Verdansk themed whatsoever. They definitely missed an opportunity to get fans excited for the return of Verdansk by giving them some really cool cosmetics, but no, of course, all the cool cosmetics and everything are on the same page at the bottom in the new bundles tab. So not only do we have the daily login bonus as a way to try to get people to sign into the game, but right there, if you go there to get your free stuff for signing in, of course they have to advertise the shop to you, because that's all the Call of Duty franchise is anymore. And I don't know about you guys, but I already thought they had daily login bonuses, but rather it's just more of a manipulation tactic than anything, because I don't sign into the game daily. I'm sure most of you don't either, but every time I sign in now, there's always a free bundle in the shop. Every time I sign in, man, there's something free in the shop for me, and it's literally always an XP token. Weapon XP, player XP, wherever the hell, it's always an XP token. And they do this very deliberately. The reason why they do it is they want you to enter the shop and potentially see something that you want, which is why, even though it's only ever always a free XP token, it still says free bundle, and then they bury that free bundle under a mountain of shit. And hell, even stuff like the Black History Month bundle, as well as the Women's History Month bundles, they contained nothing but a calling card and a loading screen pretty much, and they were buried way at the bottom of the shop so that players end up seeing as much of the shop as humanly possible while searching for their free stuff. Like, this is some straight up manipulative, free to play, mobile game bullshit, but it's right here in our full price AAA $70 Call of Duty title. Like, this is where the franchise is now. And speaking of the shop, yesterday they released the Black Ops 6 and Warzone End of Season 2 cinematic, and holy shit guys, take a look at this right here. I'm not going to play the audio or anything, but I honestly forgot until I saw this that we were even playing a Black Ops game. Like, between the Ninja Turtles, the Dragon Princesses, the farting unicorns, the Terminators that seem to have the smallest hitbox in the entire game, and then of course the travesty that was the Squid Game event, there's nothing Black Ops about this game at all anymore. And then they released this and I'm like, holy shit, like, there's Adler, they're talking about the Pantheon, Jason Hudson, who is dead mind you, apparently left a tape before he died, and we're gonna hear more from that in season 3. Like, what in the world, man? Like, this is the Black Ops universe that we all love. The Fortnite-ification of the Call of Duty franchise has absolutely stripped these games of their identity, and I genuinely got Black Ops 1 vibes from this cinematic, and for a second I forgot about the abomination that we are currently stuck with. But that leads me into my final news story and topic for the day. So this weekend there's going to be a CDL major, and for watching it on YouTube you can earn rewards. All you do is link your Activision account to your YouTube account, you leave the tournament up on your browser, and for watching you're going to earn some of these goodies that you see right here. Now what's funny about this is all this stuff is way more interesting than what we got for Black History Month, Women's History Month, the daily login bonuses, or even the free bundles that show up pretty much every single day. And then we notice that Jackal blueprint right there. By the looks of it, this thing might even be animated, which is wild considering we're like 3 months into the Black Ops 6 life cycle and they've barely added anything animated whatsoever. But notice, it's for the freaking Jackal, man. Like, I could go on a whole diatribe about that blueprint, but I'm going to try and summarize it with this. Every year, and I'm sure you guys have noticed this, so maybe if you haven't, every year, 1 or 2 weapons, maybe 3 weapons, they rise above the rest, right? And instead of trying to nerf those weapons or bring them down to line or maybe buff up other weapons to make them more competitive, instead, Activision monetizes the holy hell out of those OP weapons. It's like they are OP by design. It's like before the game even comes out, they decide which weapons are going to be good, and then they start designing blueprints for those weapons. Like, think of the Jackal, and then you think of the AK-74U back in Black Ops Cold War. In that game, there was no less than 33 different weapon blueprints that were sold for that particular gun, and it just so happens it was meta for the entirety of the game's life cycle. Like, that's crazy how that worked out. Like, that's amazing. Like, Activision, they had no idea that this gun was going to be meta the entirety of the game's life cycle and then monetize the holy hell out of it. Like, that's wild, right? I think it's pretty clear that on top of everything else, Activision have found a way to monetize game balance, but that's something they've been doing for years and years. It's just something that doesn't often get brought up, so I want to take a jab at that here in today's video. And also, if that blueprint is animated, it will be one of the first times that they've added an animated camo to the game since launch, which is a stark contrast to what Sledgehammer Games was doing last year with all the amazing weekly and seasonal challenges that we had from Modern Warfare 3. I know we've talked about it before, but these devs absolutely hate each other and they do not want to work with the other studios. Like, there's a big rivalry. Every single studio thinks they do things the best and the other studios are stupid, which is why when something good happens to the COD franchise, it never gets added to the next game, like raids that we had back in Modern Warfare 2. Who remembers those? Like, those co-op raids you could do in Modern Warfare 2? Freaking amazing, right? Well, of course they don't make it into Modern Warfare 3, and then when it comes to Modern Warfare 3, they added the weekly challenge system, the aftermarket parts, and tons of animated camo rewards, and of course none of that made it into Black Ops 6, and it's just frustrating. You know, like, a little continuity between games would really go a long way for this franchise, but like we've been hearing recently, the studios do not work well together whatsoever, and reportedly they don't even want to work well together. That is the state of Call of Duty's development. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this video here today. I just want to cover all the recent news that's come out over the course of the past couple of days. It's been a few days actually since my last video because we're not really getting a bunch of major news. Like, we'll get a little tiny news story here, maybe a little news story there and everything, but nothing that really feels like warrants its own entire video until we can take all those news stories and throw them all together like we did here today. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening and for your continued support of my channel. It really does mean a lot, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.